Hello, everybody. It is 10 a.m. in Malaysia, which means it is time to begin our presentation today. But before we get started, and while we still wait for many people to start pouring in, how are you doing? How are you guys? Let me know in the chats where you guys are dialing in from. We have quite a few people here today. We have a lot of people, some familiar faces, some new faces. Uh, we've got quite the program going on. So just drop a message in the chat. Oh, there's no chat. Oh well, I guess just wave to me. I'm really happy to be here with all of you. We have a new product introduction today. Thank you, iPhone, for raising your hand. I see you. I see everybody. Thank you guys for having your camera on. I'm feeling your vibes today. I'm sure you guys must be as excited as I am for to get more information and to hear about Oxytap, which could be the next game changer as we're all going into 2024, as we're all planning on Bangkok. I'm sure we're all looking for the next thing that's going to catch us over the edge and bring us that success that we're looking for. And Oxytap could just be it. So we've got 126 people in the call right now. If you can turn on your camera, do turn on your camera. I love seeing you guys here. I love seeing your faces, your energies. I can see when you guys wave at the camera. We have quite the program for you today. As I said, we're going to be talking about Oxytap. What is Oxytap? A- a- And how are we going to use it in our daily lives to better ourselves and to just make use of that device? I don't know very much about it, which is why I'm going to be sitting here in this call as a student with all of you. But before I go on further, I would like to introduce and talk a little bit about the next person that I'm going to call on. Now, Mr. Nur Rashid is a person that most of you may be familiar with, but I just found out today that this young gentleman, who I could have sworn was in his 40s, is actually a 60-year-old grandfather of two kids. I mean, that is the power of what we're doing, the beauty that we see, the youth that we see, and he's walking proof of that. Mr. Nur Rashid, who is currently the Corporate Affairs Director and the Executive Director of Prive Singapore, is in fact a Singaporean who's 60 years young. He has 9 kids, 2 grandkids. He's a hotelier, he's a flight attendant, he's a former flight attendant with United Airlines, and, and a realtor, along with having 30 years, 30, that's 30 years of experience in direct sales and network marketing. And in his past, he was the biggest distributor with Kangen Water in Brunei and has been a pioneer with Thrive since the COVID-19 lockdowns. Mr. Nur Rashid, as some of you may be familiar with, is a person who has been in Thrive since the beginning of our company and who has not only witnessed but led our massive growth in across 70 countries in the world right now. And in Prive International now, he is the corporate affairs director and the executive director of Prive Singapore. I was first introduced to the Oxytap through Mr. Nur Rashid, and who better to explain the history of the Oxytap, how he got into the Oxytap, how he got into the Kangen water and the water industry. Who better to talk about all of this than the man himself? So with 180 people in this call right now and more people still coming, I would like to hand the floor over to Mr. Nur Rashid so he can give us a bit about his history as well as the history of the Oxytap, and also to introduce the inventor, the founder, or the person who's going to be here talking to us about the Oxytap. So without any further ado, I bring to all of you very proudly Mr. Nur Rashid.
Hi, everyone. Good morning and
Good
good morning,
morning.
America. It's nice to see you, the people from the Philippines, Singapore, Malaysia, Brunei, and the entire world, right? So many blessings to all of you. Remember, in Prive, we are one team, one family. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we started Prive International since 2 years ago, we've been very blessed. We got a breakthrough product. in the category of eye care. So time has passes. There's a lot, like I said again, wannabes. But eye care has been second to none, meaning that we do not have any competitors, but a lot of copycat, and many people has got the blessing of it and the great testimony. And as we grow along, I'm very proud to say that Prive International is a company with a vision, and they keep on improving to look for new technologies with science, with documentation, and something is going to be a new breakthrough all over again. So when Prive International introduced on the Oxytap, I say it's going to be another game changer. What we are in no category. We are not competing with any water filter out there, but instead we are complementing it. So my personal experience, I've been drinking this oxygenated water from this machine itself, from the device, and I've been carrying it along even during my travel. You can just put it in your hand luggage, you can carry it on board your flight, and it's just easily right on the tabletop. You don't have to fix anything, just plug it in, and it's multi-voltage. And my personal experience with the Oxytap, you see, after the eye care, I've improved so many of my health condition, but one thing that remains, I'm always waking up middle of the night, choking with my dry cough. And it has been going on persistently. So it doesn't get away, even taking some medication and all that. But what surprised me without me realizing it, because even Dr. Jimmy and Dr. Steven notice every time when I go up on stage and giving my presentation, I will have this persistent dry cough. And it's so bad because if you don't look after it, I start coughing up blood, you will have pneumonia. So what's the difference after 1 month, less than a month, just about 2-3 weeks, my cough totally gone away. Without any medication, without any supplement, without any vitamins. So basically what it does, this is another thing that I measure my blood level in the oxygen level in my blood, the oximeter, right? So we can just simply put it into the finger and the reading starts to increase. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, right, let me introduce you the person who is responsible behind this is Mr. Wilson, and he has been a technologist in the high-tech industry for 30 years, from defense to environmental technologies in Singapore. As a water scientist in the last 10 years, Wilson has been exploring how to use the two of nature vital elements, which is oxygen and water to enhance health. Yes, we need air to breathe and we need water to drink. So these are the two fundamentals of life itself. So he is also the CEO and the founder of the world's first regenerative oxygen nutrition infuser, Oxytap. So Wilson's extensive experience in the high-tech industry has equipped him with a deep understanding of technological advancements and their practical application. Throughout his career, he has worked in diverse areas, including defense and environmental technologies, where he has honed his skills in problem solving, innovation, and strategic thinking. In the past decade, Wilson has focused his expertise on water science, delving into the remarkable potential of oxygen and water to positively impact human health, well-being, and lifestyle. Recognizing the immense value of these natural elements, he has dedicated his efforts to discovering novel ways to harness their regenerative properties. As the CEO and founder of Oxytap, Wilson has spearheaded the creation of the world's first regenerative oxygen nutrition infuser. Oxytap represents a groundbreaking solution that combines technology, science, and nature to deliver transformative benefits. By infusing oxygen and water in a specialized manner, Oxytap offers a unique approach to enhancing nutrition and overall vitality. Under Wilson's visionary leadership, Oxytap has rapidly emerged as a global leader in its field, The company's innovative products have garnered widespread acclaim for their ability to revolutionize the way individuals approach health and wellness. Wilson's commitment to excellence, coupled with his passion for leveraging nature resources, has positioned Oxytap at the forefront of the industry. With unwavering dedication, Wilson aims to empower individuals worldwide to embrace a healthier and more fulfilling lifestyle. Through Oxytap's cutting-edge solutions, he envisions a future where the regenerative properties of oxygen and water are harnessed to optimize human well-being, vitality, and longevity. In summary, Wilson's profound expertise, combined with his entrepreneurial spirit, has led to the creation of Oxytap, a company that is revolutionizing the way we think about health, wellness, and the potential of nature's vital elements. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the scientist, the inventor, the one and only in the world, from Singapore, Mr. Wilson. Over to you, brother.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, evening, and afternoon, wherever you are. Early Christmas greetings. I'm calling you actually not in Singapore, but I'm in Korea right now. So I'm taking this call from my hotel room. So nice to meet you. And I think this is amazing synergy we have, Oxytap and Prive. And basically, we are going to revolutionize the health industry. I mean, I see a vision at the end of the day where we don't have to have a reliant on medicines. We don't have to have a reliant on drugs, but natural energy-giving products. And these are things which it's not science fiction, but it's happening now today. And I'm going to share briefly on the product and what it does, and to give you a differentiating factor of what you have known before and what Oxytap brings to the market or brings to the world today. Yeah, can I share screen? Let me see.
Yes, you should be able to.
Great. Can you see this? Okay, so basically, we are looking at taking oxygen and water to promote healing for human health, right? So we are the world's first oxygen nutrition infuser. We are differentiating from ourselves from water purifiers. We are not a water purifier, right? We use water as a means of delivering high oxygen in your body system. And we are also not exactly oxygenated water, because oxygenated water, when you oxygenate it from the factory, and all the world's oxygen water is produced in the factory today, the moment you start oxygenating it, oxygen starts to leave the water. Ours is a system that when you oxygenate it, it's the highest in the world, and you can even concentrate different concentrations of oxygen dosages, which has different applications. Yeah, so let me just run through the presentation. Mr. Rashid has done a wonderful introduction of myself. I shall skip this. What we have here is the rules of three for human survivability. A human survives 3 weeks without food. Many of you can't survive 24 hours without food, but generally, a human survives 3 weeks without food. A human survives 3 days without food. No, sorry, water. 3 days without water. But a human can only survive 3 minutes without oxygen. So you notice food, water, and oxygen. These are the 3 key elements of survivability. And in Oxytap, we handle 2. What we are speaking here today, or what Oxytap is trying to address today, we are trying to show you that there is an oxygen pandemic in the world happening today, right? Oxygen, when it first started in the world, was very high. It was probably, when the world started, was probably 30% of oxygen in the air. Unfortunately, with greenhouse gases and pollution, oxygen is depleting over time. So right now we have 21% oxygen in the air, but that is in a natural space. If you're in a confined space, you're in a home, you're in an office space where there are many other humans competing for oxygen, your oxygen levels will drop, right? And this chart also shows that since 1992 till 2020, the oxygen levels have depleted over the years. Even the Chinese university has warned that there is a declining oxygen levels in large cities worldwide. Right, they've done studies and they saw that as long as you're living in the city, and most of us are, especially in Singapore, different places of congestion, build-up areas, oxygens are even lesser. What's more, I'm sure all of us know this by now, lack of oxygen due to the COVID pandemic. Many of you don't realize that when COVID hits you, hits your lung, your air sacs get infected, right? And slowly it begins to fill up with your mucus and you're literally drowning on dry land, right? And these are issues which surround this would be low oxygen in your body. And low oxygen in your body gives rise to this. So those who have gone through COVID, I'm not sure how many of you gone through. I think 99% of the world has gotten COVID. And now it's just different levels of COVID. They've gotten once, twice, 3 times. Singapore is going through a resurgence of COVID also. We are living in a post-COVID world, and many of us are suffering from this, right? Long COVID is linked to low oxygen. Because your lung is infected, your lung is the only way which oxygen enters your system. And if it is infected by the virus, oxygen level drops. Your recovery rate, I'm not sure whether you realize that, but when you fall sick now, you recover slower. You don't come back to your normal self as fast as in the past before COVID. And even in sports, when you play sports, if you run, you realize that you are breathless easier because of the scarring of the virus which has done harm in your body, in your lung. So these are all the things you will experience. And there are a few times after this presentation, many of the listeners say, yeah, I have this. Suddenly I have anxiety, I have depression, all during this period, right? And some says that I have fatigue, I get more frequent fatigue, or suddenly I have joint aches, because it's all linked to long COVID. And long COVID, the very root of it is low oxygen. Even when you are aging, oxygen begin to deplete in your body. Your cell cannot absorb oxygen as per when you were younger. So when you do that, you begin to have a depletion in your health, deceleration in your mobility, your brain absorption, and then going into early dementia if your oxygen depletes. Just an example, lack of oxygen in the brain. If you have no oxygen in your brain, 30 seconds, you lose consciousness. So, when people do a choking, right? People just fall asleep after 30 seconds because you lose consciousness. 1 minute, brain cells begin to die. 3 minutes gives you lasting brain damage. 5 minutes, most die, right? And 10 minutes, lasting brain damage. And after 15 minutes, there's really no chance of survival. So that's how critical oxygen is to our human health and wellness. What are we talking about really? We're talking about tissue hypoxia. This thing, tissue hypoxia, the root cause is low oxygen. So when we refer to low oxygen in the body, we're talking about hypoxia. And hypoxia is the root of 60% of the sicknesses and diseases worldwide. And like I said earlier, aging is a main cause. Stress, you don't breathe enough, pollution and COVID now, diseases, diabetes, COVID, smoker's lung, blood disorder. This will all lead to low oxygen in your body. And why is oxygen so needed in our body, right? In all our body, we have cells, and in our cell, we have this thing called mitochondria. Mitochondria is like your car engine, and it gives you energy. So ATP is energy. So just imagine mitochondria is your car engine, which needs fuel and air to give you combustion. So ATP is like your combustion, right? The mitochondria needs glucose and oxygen to give you ATP. So glucose, we get anywhere through food, the sugar we drink, we get glucose in our cell. However, when we are getting lesser oxygen, the lesser oxygen we get, we do not produce enough ATP because there's not enough oxygen. So the glucose level goes up, energy level drops. However, if you have enough oxygen in your body, this is your energy level. So you see the difference? 32 ATP is your acceleration. You have the power to generate your vehicle. But if you have low oxygen, you only have 2 ATP. So on days where you're feeling very lethargic or tired, this is a huge difference, 32 and 2 ATP, right? So you need that extra boost in your body, which is oxygen. So why is this energy or ATP needed in cells, right? Is to carry out normal cell functions, is to cause repair of cell after injury. Okay, by the way, if you are having diabetics, your body is very low in oxygen. And that's why many of them, in these extreme cases of diabetes, they actually can't heal. When they have a cut, the skin do not heal. It doesn't repair. The cell doesn't repair it. So it gets worse and worse, and you have to amputate that feet. And it keeps the cell young and alive, just like Mr. Noor Rashid, keeping him young and alive and still producing grandchildren. Fight infections. In this time and age for COVID, right? You don't want to catch COVID in this season, right? And also, it removes cancerous cell. Oxygen removes cancerous cell. Let me explain to you why it does that. Dr. Otto Warburg, which is a biologist and a Nobel Prize winner in medicine, he's the founder of cancer. He discovered cancer, and he says that when cells has no oxygen to use, cells can turn cancerous, right? All normal cells have a requirement for oxygen, but cancer cells can live without oxygen, right? So this is a rule without exception, which means why cancer cells form in the first place. Cancer cells form of a varied reasons, but one of the primary reasons is because of the lowest oxygen in your organs, those organs which has very hypoxic, that's when the cell mutate into cancer cells. So when you see a doctor and the doctor tests your blood and say, hey, you have a very high cancer marker, the very fact that you have a high cancer marker is because you are low in oxygen, right? You're very hypoxic. That's why you become cancerous. However, the doctor will tell you, say, look here, you need to go for a certain chemotherapy. And then chemotherapy comes, and because your cell is already very weak because of the low oxygen, the chemotherapy, which is poison, goes through your body. All your normal cells will die because it's already very weak. But the cancer cells will be the strongest because of its low oxygen environment in your body, and the chemotherapy will not affect that, right? So we have quite a number of clients who are cancer patients who drink oxygen to increase the oxygen level in their body, and that when chemotherapy, when they go through that, right, the cancer cell, the regular cells are strengthened. They are not affected by the chemo, and the cancer which is in their body is weakened because of the oxygen environment in the body. And then the chemo or whatever traditional methods or natural methods of cancer solution you're doing for your body, it would work better. You see, even drinking water has low oxygen. So just imagine, I shared earlier, the world is depleting of oxygen. Our bodies as we age are depleting of oxygen. Pandemic like COVID is reducing oxygen in our body. Even the water we drink, right? Singapore is one of the largest consumer of bottled water in the world. Even the bottled water we drink or water we drink has very low oxygen. And we can measure that, right? What is fresh water? Fresh water is in the range of 8 to 20 parts per million of dissolved oxygen. So think of dissolved oxygen in water. The highest is 20, the lowest is 8. And that is the range of natural water. if you don't fall between 8 to 20 parts per million of oxygen, you are not considered as fresh, right? Oxygen is so-called dissolved in surface water due to the aeration action of wind, waterfalls, fast-moving stream, and also the process of aquatic plants and photosynthesis. If you look in the supermarket today, you look at all the shelf, which is the freshest? All of the brands, shelf life is 2 years from date of manufacture. And especially in the US, right? Brands like Nestle, they're very big. They're in office, water coolers, water dispensers, they're everywhere, right? The more you keep them in storage, the longer you take them out from a fresh source, the lesser oxygen you're gonna have in the water. So dissolved oxygen leaves the bottle once you bottle from source. After 8 to 12 months, the oxygen in the bottle water is less than tap water. Low oxygen in the water make the water unhealthy and stale. So none of this is fresh. So the whole world is drinking stale water and unhealthy water. So as we mentioned earlier, natural water, let me see when I can. Natural water is 8 to 20. This is a fresh source, right? When you bottle, let's say Evian from France, it could be 9 to 10. By the time they ship it to you, it would have dropped to about 7 or 6. By the time you consume it, it would have been maybe 5, right? And also everywhere in the world, tap water is at this range. So just imagine we are a far cry from fresh water, which is 8 to 20. And most of our homes, right, has filters. Even Kangen, the better your filter is, the lesser oxygen you're going to get. So it's some of the best filter is about 2 to 1.5 parts per million, right? And where's the solution to this? Where is the solution in the world where you can increase oxygen in the water to rival natural water? Only at Oxytap in the world. We are able to take all this water quality and so-called infusing our oxygen elements into it to increase to 25. And like I said earlier, we can concentrate it even higher to 30 to 35 to 45, depending on the requirements you need, because you are able to deliver high oxygen dosages for different applications. So just a recap, this, by the way, it's oxygen meter, all right? In our field as an engineer, what we say, we have to back up with science, right? So we take industrial meter, which measures oxygen in water. Okay, so by the way, all this bottle is freshly purchased from the supermarket, which means it's like just produced like less than 3 weeks from manufacture. So it's very high. And even at the highest, 7.41, it's still lower than natural water level. Fiji water is about 7.73. Volvic is about 8. Dasani is about 7. And this is Oxytap. One press is 26.7. There's no comparison in the world in terms of freshness and high oxygen. If you look at that, Evian, Fiji, Volvic, Dasani, and Oxytap. And this is only one press. We can even go higher than this. So we're solving the oxygen crisis with oxygen supplement water. And this is our technology. We're able to refresh, re-energize, and revitalize. We are regenerative in nature, which means there isn't a need to provide oxygen tank, not like a soda stream. We are generating oxygen from water itself. We split hydrogen and oxygen from water, which is H2O. We filter out hydrogen and we keep oxygen in the system, and that pure oxygen element is remixed back into the supplied water you give it. And we have many applications. What I always equate Oxytap as is it's the iOS, right? It's like the operating system of your iPhone or your Android phone. And there are many applications you can put on top. So the applications could be iTeracare. It makes iTeracare better, right? You put in supplements. It makes your supplements absorption better. Even if you take medication, the medication gets absorbed and the efficacy is better. So we have multi-applications surrounding it, using oxygen as a base. And primarily, we are a factory in the box. Today, all bottled oxygen water has to be manufactured in a factory. We move the factory to your tabletop. So what we do, we are a fast generator of high oxygen in just 3 minutes. A single shot of oxygen is 3 minutes. What I mean by single shot is one press. One press, it oxygenates 3 minutes, and that's a single shot. We can go up to 2 to 3 shots. Like I said, one shot, we refresh. It's called refresh mode. It refreshes water to slightly higher than natural water level, the highest in the world. 2 shots is like a double shot of espresso. It gives you a natural energy drink without the caffeine. 3 shots is revitalized. Basically, if you are feeling that you're going to fall sick, you got a flu coming, or you're people who have diabetics or cancer, you do 3 shots of oxygen and you let them drink. This will boost or lower the hypoxic effect and counter the whatever. It increases the cell metabolism and energy to counter the sicknesses. The other thing is it self-generates, like I mentioned earlier, it self-generates pure oxygen from the supplied water itself. But the key thing is it stabilizes high concentration of dissolved oxygen in water, right? It's no point oxygenating something and you can't bring it along the whole day out to your gym, to work, to school. We oxygenate, we stabilize it, it lasts high and long, 24 hours. And then if you keep it in the fridge, it lasts more than a week, right? So we are very high, we are long lasting, and the key thing is consistently high. We are able to generate very consistent high oxygen. The rest of the world, when it's in the bottle from a factory, oxygen starts to deplete the moment you start capping the water. Once you release from factory, oxygen starts to deplete. And importantly, we do not alter the structure of the water, which means today, if you are an avid Kangen drinker and say, I love my alkaline, my high pH, we do not disrupt your alkalinity. We don't change the pH level. We in fact complement it. So today we have a product which don't compete in the water market space or the water purifier space, but in fact, it complements it very well. So if you are involved in Kangen previously and you sold to many Kangen clients, this is a very good complementary product that you can even use a meter and test. Kangen water's oxygen level is very low. Now, after Kangen, we can oxygenate. You still maintain its high pH alkalinity, but with high oxygen now. So it now becomes the only product in the world which can complement any water purifier supplier or products, because all filtered water reduces oxygen in the world today. Ours is the only one which increases it. So these are some of the things people said, hey, if you, I'm sure many of you would have Googled, right? Oh, oxygen water, that it's nobody can drink oxygen. Drinking oxygen will not increase in your blood. I'm sure you have many burning questions like that. And when you Google, right, more and more of the naysayers will say, hey, it doesn't work, it's a scam and all that. It is true, oxygen water is a scam. Okay, it's been there for many years, but because they do not have the ability to keep high oxygen in the water, because all of them had to be manufactured in the factory. They cannot bring the factory to you at source when you give it high oxygen and keep the consistency of the high oxygen in the water, that when you drink it, it brings that power of oxygen in your body system. So whatever you have heard about oxygen water, it's true, it's a scam, but we are not oxygen water. We are oxygen nutrition. We are oxygen supplement. When you drink it at our high concentration, which is one of the highest in the world, it will begin to show oxygen entering your bloodstream, blood oxygen. Let me show you This is one of the reading we have done in one of our roadshow. This is a lady. She's in her 80s. Okay, she just drank our water, and just a few sips, right? It's not like even a half a cup. It's less than half a cup of water. Her initial reading using a regular oximeter was 94. So the older you are, your oxygen level is low. So old folks, you know, if you have any aged parents, you want to prevent dementia, you want to prevent Alzheimer's, start giving them our oxygen supplement. Initial reading is 94.7. After 15 seconds of drinking, it goes up to 98. And within that few seconds, it's still increasing, 99.71, 99.73. There is no supplement in the world just by taking it orally would give you 5% increase in your blood oxygen in 10 to 15 seconds. It's none. This lady was from Rwanda. She came to my office, and one of my customers said, "Hey, can you help her?" I said, "Does she have pain in her body?" They said, "No, she doesn't have. She has a numbness of her leg for 3 years. After COVID, she had COVID. She lost the feeling of her right leg, and her right leg totally didn't have any strength, right?" Let me see. After drinking it, it helped her regain the strength. The blood, she could feel the blood flow going back to her right thigh. And after about 5 to 10 minutes, different people has different reactions. So after 5 to 10 minutes, she got her feeling right back, and then she began to have strength back into her leg. She can't do this, yeah. Her right leg. Yeah. We just came back from Berlin. This was in IFA 2023, and we help people relieve their pain also in the exhibition. And some of them had pain for 8 years, neck pain, like this middle lady here, and we help her relieve that. And the one on the right has a pain on the shoulder. 1 out of 10 is 8 for a few months already, and we helped him relieve that pain with oxygen. This is also from our roadshow. It's a 90-year-old elderly. You know, one of the symptoms of low oxygen in your body is dizziness. If you sit down and you stand up, you get dizzy. So this old man, he's 90 years old. He has high blood pressure. He sits down and he stands up. He's very dizzy. After drinking Oxytap for the first time, he stood up. There wasn't any dizziness. So he drank Oxytap for 1 week. And when he went to see the doctor took him off his high blood medication. He was so thankful that he came to the shopping center where we were doing our road shows, and he brought his family to thank us, you know, for so-called solving his high blood pressure medication. And after another week, he brought his younger sister who was celebrating her 80th birthday, and made them sit in front of me to present the product, and they bought the machine also. So a lot of customers, after seeing the effects, would begin to introduce more and more customers to you. So it's a very natural, crowd puller when people begin to see the effect. By the way, as I mentioned earlier, because of the naysayers in the market who says that oxygen cannot be absorbed in your body by drinking, we have also done another test in Israel. This is called what we did was this one. You see the meter, which is let me put this meter here. So what we showed earlier was an oximeter. Oximeter measures particles in your blood with light by just clipping on your finger. But this one is called a tissue oxygen meter. What this tissue oxygen meter does, it is putting or measuring on your skin. That means oxygen from your blood entering your skin tissue. Why is this important? Because where they use this is when they are testing for diabetic foot ulcer, whether if the feet has turned black, right, which means it's already gangrene stage, the tissues are dying. They want to see where did the tissue die and where the tissue is still living. So they measure the feet with this meter. If the tissue is dead, they will amputate from that downwards, right? So this is very important because we want to measure that when you drink our Oxytap supplements, it should show up in your tissue. The meter should show up in your tissue that there's some reading. And what we did is this meter has 4 probes, one to the heart, one to the left hand, one to the right hand, and one to the left feet. Why do we do this? Because we want to measure from the heart and going to the extremities of your body, the left hand, right hand, and the left leg. So this was the reading. If you can see, the first one is the baseline, where for 10 minutes, we measured only by breathing. That means you sit down, you breathe, don't do anything, we measure you. And this is the left heart area, this column, and the left hand column, right hand column, and the left leg column. This SpO2, it's the finger meter, this one here, it measures this part here. It's the same like the oximeter, and then it measures the heart rate. So 10 minutes, no water. After that, 10 minutes of, okay, just to backtrack, baseline, now the trend, if you're into biohacking and into longevity and prolonging your life, you would realize that there is a new method called Wim Hof method. Wim Hof method teaches you deep breathing. Of course, Chinese over the years have been teaching you Qi Gong, right? Breathing, deep breathing. Yoga is also into breathing. But when you do that and you measure your oxygen level, it's not as high as if you drink our water. You can do that all the time, but you cannot see very significant increase in your blood oxygen. Only Oxytap allows you to do that. So that's why we did a baseline with no water, just by breathing. And then the second one is drinking water, just regular water, and we measure it. 200 ml, 10 minutes, normal water we drink and we measure. So we set that as a baseline. Then we started putting Oxytap water, 200 ml, 10 minutes we drink, 200 ml, and then finally 500 ml. And we could see on the heart, the probe which on the heart, the oxygen level, which is reflected on the tissue in the heart area, went up 48.1%. This is unheard of. Nobody can do this, right? Just by drinking. Left hand went up to 18%, right hand went up 22%, and the left leg went up to 10.6%. By increasing 10%, it will reverse your diabetic foot ulcer condition, which means we have customers whose feet was supposed to be amputated because of diabetes. And after 6 months of drinking, the condition was reversed. And we saved their leg. So this is proof, right? This is proof that oxygen, through our such high concentration of delivery in water, will make a significant change in your tissue oxygenation. And this is using high-tech equipment or testing equipment to do that. For a simpler way, you can use the oximeter, right? Even Apple Watch and your Garmin watch, you can measure it. And many a times, if you start off and you're measuring at 94 and you drink our oxygen water, your Apple Watch will register that it's unable to measure because it exceeds 99. It goes up to 100%, and the Apple Watch cannot do that. You can try that when you have the machine. Even for diabetes, right now the trend is having this patch on your skin, which is what they call a freestyle liber. This measures blood sugar from your body, and it tracks you 24 hours, and then you actually upload to the cloud. This was also taken in Israel. 70-year-old man with diabetes. He's under strict diet. He controls his diet very well. And he also takes minimal support medication. But unfortunately, he's old, right? And like I said earlier, when you're old, you're hypoxic, your oxygen is low. And because you have low oxygen, diabetes is also there. So this is one of the factor in diabetes, in old age. He has that meter. He's been tracking himself for the last 12 days, and his sugar level is high. After we introduce Oxytap here, his sugar level dropped. And we take back Oxytap from him, his sugar level went up again. So just by drinking Oxytap, his blood sugar went down to 10 to 11%. This was done, this is another oxygen water system, which was done testing on Monash University. This is the rats. We took 10 mice, each injected with human prostate cancer. This is to prove that oxygen water helps in cancer, right? Human prostate cancer. After 9 days of drinking oxygen water, we inject a dye to measure the cancer growth. And then another 9 days of drinking tap water, we inject a dye and we measure the growth. Look on the right side, the mice which are drinking tap water, the cancer cells grew. The one on the left is regular oxygen water. The cancer cell is lesser. Don't progress so fast. If they were to test with our water, our supplement, ours is at least 3 times more effective than this. The cancer cell grew. If you're drinking tap water, drinking oxygen water, the cancer cell is not as high. The one on the right is drinking tap water. It grew and swelled and became inflamed. The one which is oxygen water, the cancer cell didn't grow that well. Also control. This is the tap water, the signal or the activeness of the cancer or the aggressiveness of the cancer was higher, and then this regular oxygen water is not so aggressive. So people say, hey, I'm not sick, I do not have cancer, I'm young, why do I need this, right? This oxygen is right now the best sports supplement naturally available for you, because what we are trying to solve, when you exercise, we need to consume oxygen because you consume more oxygen when you exercise, right? And because you consume more oxygen, your body cannot produce enough or cannot absorb enough oxygen to counter the energy you require. So it simulates the oxygen by going into from an aerobic to an anaerobic metabolism, which gives you high lactic acid. And this is the one that when it accumulates in your muscle, you get fatigue or cramp. So this one on the left is your lactic acid production. This is your intensity below of your exercise. So the more you push yourself, the more lactic acid will increase in your body. So remember, lactic acid is the one which gives you the pain and the cramp. It makes your whole leg feel like lead, right? So the more you push yourself, it keeps on going up. Even after your training, reduction of that lactic acid can take, for some people, it can take days. So for days, you'll be feeling that pain in your body or aches in your body. So when you drink oxygen water, it increases effectiveness or hydration to the muscles. Because it's able to increase the hydration of the muscle, it reduces lactic acid accumulation and it improves post-race recovery. So this is similar for athletes who are running marathon, cycling. You have a greater endurance and intensity. So if you drink oxygen water while you're training, you will notice the red line. You do not produce that much lactic acid and you recover faster. So when you do a fast run, the lungs and blood circulation are unable to deliver oxygen to the muscles quickly enough. So you go into anaerobic metabolism, lactic acid is produced, and that's where you get fatigue. However, if you are consuming oxygen supplement, you can do a fast run. The muscles are able to utilize oxygen better in the contraction process. You go into aerobic metabolism, you produce less lactic, and the recovery of muscles are much better. So we did an experiment using rats. We did one group of rats which were drinking only water. This group only drank, the left group drank oxygen water. The right group drank tap water. After 7 days, what we did was, like I mentioned, oxygen is carried through blood. So if you remove all the blood, like a vampire, you basically your muscle begin to produce lactic acid. So we removed all their blood, and you realize the one which is drinking regular water, their lactic acid produce a lot in their blood or in their body system. And those who are drinking oxygen water, the lactic acid is not so high. So, okay, we're almost to the end of the talk. I just want to give you a brief examples of some of the potential applications where Oxytap can be positioned into. This is one of the issue which is very common in the world. Hangover. You know, most of us like our drinks, right? And coming Christmas, many of you will be partying and having a lots of drinks. Remember to drink Oxytap or oxygen water, because when you drink any alcohol, from beer to wine to whiskey, a chemical called acetaldehyde is produced in your blood. This chemical enters your bloodstream and it affects your liver. It also gives you hangover the next day. This chemical can only be removed or decomposed through oxidation, which is only oxygen can remove this naturally. So before your party, drink Oxytap. During your party, you drink sips of Oxytap. You can hold your liquor better. You will not get hangover the next day. So this is proven clinical trials. It also helps you in sports and gyms, as we discussed earlier. Schools, office, and gaming resorts. Why? Because when you concentrate, like most of you are concentrating and listening to this talk right now, your brain is consuming 20 to 30% from your body, right? That's why some of you may feel lethargic or tired, because your brain is consuming oxygen from your body. So when you drink Oxytap, it helps you study better, longer, and in offices, you don't get so lethargic. You know, after lunch, you can actually have a better productivity in office. So we've been targeting office pantries and stuff like that. Gaming resorts is huge, right? We have been to CES in 2020. This January, we'll be in CES again, Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. And if you go to the Las Vegas strips, you will see oxygen bar. They are actually selling oxygen bar for you to breathe oxygen. So gaming resorts, it's very good. Why oxygen in gaming resorts? Some gaming resorts are also pumping oxygen in their gaming rooms. This is to make people more alert, so they would gamble more. They won't go home and sleep, right? And of course, beauty, wellness, and health spa. So like we mentioned earlier, oxygen is the only one which improves cellular skin regeneration. Of course, coupled with Terahertz, this is a fantastic product. For beautiful skin, it accelerates healing, slows aging, reduces line and wrinkles, promotes beautiful skin, increases moisture to skin, and clarifies skin. And also for weight loss, oxygen helps increase your metabolism. We have customers when we sell it to the officers in the pantry. When we sold it in 3 months' time, we got repeat orders of about six new customers from that office, because when they started drinking, some of them lost weight. One customer lost 5 kg just by drinking oxygen, because it increases the metabolism in their body. It removes waste from your body, and you replace sugary drinks. Drink more oxygen water, necessary for fat burning. And oxygen water helps in digestion. How does it help? Our gut is made up of bacteria, right? So good bacteria, which is called the aerobic bacteria, consumes a lot of oxygen. So the more oxygen you give it, if you take your probiotics, you take your prebiotics, it's going to activate the good bacteria, gut bacteria, even better. Like I said, prevents pain and disease. How it does that is pain is caused by inflammation. When you drink oxygen water, it enters your bloodstream at high oxygen, and the high oxygen will reach those parts which is flowing in the blood and bring down the inflammation which is causing pain. Okay, give me a second. That's all I have today. Do you want me to take some questions, or what do you?
Yes, Wilson, we'll like you to take some questions.
Okay.
So if you have a question, please raise your hand so that we can unmute you one by one. All right? Hang on. So Mugi,
All
you
right,
can
guys,
go on to.
we'll go for question time. Yes, let's start off with frequency healer. I'm just starting from the top. Please ask the question, sir.
Yes, thank you. That was very interesting. So I've got basically a question that I'm sure there's others in here. Is there anything that we just get the machine and the machine does all the work? There's nothing consumable in the machine. Is that correct?
No. So there is okay, let me just, by the way, I got a machine here next to me. So this is the machine. This is the size of the machine. Okay. This one is the nozzle which you can change after a year of using, right? And you can replace this by just twisting it, right? It comes out like that. So this is only consumable. Water, you provide any clean water directly into the nozzle itself. This is, by the way, this is not a filter. This is a supplement infuser. We have to be able to differentiate that we are not a filter device. We are using water as a delivery system in your body. And a very good example is when you buy a vitamin, like a vitamin C, right? The capsule, it doesn't have the value. You know, the capsule doesn't have the value. It's the amount of milligrams you put in the capsule, which is the value. So water is the capsule in our case, and the amount of concentration of oxygen in concentrating in the water is the value. So we are an oxygen supplement infuser or nutritional system. So like I said, the nozzle is the only one which you need to replace after a year.
Okay, I hope that answers your question. Cora, I don't think you're connected to audio. Maybe do that. I'm gonna go on to Muriel's iPhone. Please unmute and ask your questions. And I'm just gonna go from top to bottom. I'll get to all of you.
Please
Muriel's iPhone.
please turn on your video also, just to see who you are.
Yes, Muriel, I don't hear a response from you, so I'm gonna move on to Brenda Cormack.
Mugi,
Please
you need
turn
to
on
you need to
yes.
Mugi, you need to allow them to unmute.
Okay. Hi there. I'm sorry I could not unmute. It wouldn't allow me. But my question is, once you drink this water, how long would your body stay oxygenated for? The
Okay.
whole day,
Good
like,
que-
or is it just for an hour?
Good question. So we normally recommend, this is why I'm saying this is in general cases, because all of us, our body chemistry is different. Generally, the rule of thumb is every 2 hours, you drink about 200 ml of water, of oxygen supplement, every 2 hours to bring your oxygenation up. And like I said, we can concentrate like a single shot, double shot, or triple shot. So for cancer, we want to keep your body oxygenated so that to prevent cancer from spreading, from making sure the medication works with to go against the cancer. Press 3 shots and drink it every 2 hours, 200 to 300 ml, to keep your body oxygenated. So the rule of thumb is 2 hours, 250 ml, or if your circulation is not that good, maybe 1 hour, 250 ml of oxygen supplement.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hello,
Thank you, Muriel.
Murli. I am Dr. Haji.
Yes.
Wilson, Mr. Wilson, thank you for your presentation. A very mind-awakening presentation, a very good product. Thank you very much. My question now is that, don't worry, it will become the most popular product in the world.
With your
Okay.
help, yes.
Oh, yes, right. And then maybe I have a PWG here, the wellness, private wellness gallery. I
Yes.
want to use it in our gallery. And how long can I continuously use it? For my every patient, they come, I want to give it to them. How long can I continuously use it? Maybe can I just, we should open the shop, say around 10:30 in the morning, and we close in the evening around 7 o'clock or center closes. So can I continuously use it for about 10 hours, or what is your recommendation like? And how many machines may I need for my center? Please give a recommendation, Vincent. Thank you.
So it depends. It depends on so if you need more,
Mm.
basically I told you 1 shot is 3 minutes, right? So it takes 3 minutes to oxygenate. Okay, so the volume is 1.5 liter and below. 3 minutes is the same efficacy, right? And depending on, you can actually prepare the water beforehand, before your patient come,
Okay.
and then you can give them while they're there. So you don't need to prepare it
While they are
when you're there. So it'll be very slow. So you can prepare it. You can either keep it aside because it stays high for 24 hours.
Okay, that's good. That's good news. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Haji. Moving on to Jeff and Lynn Iwi. I've asked you guys to unmute.
Hello, thank you. I have a general question about the professionals and the office settings and things that you mentioned, that these would be really good to be placed into businesses and schools. How has that been approached so far, and are the successes being seen, and where can we get more information about how we as distributors can bring this tool into those areas and make sure that those get in the right hands in the right location in larger quantity, basically?
I think the key thing is you can start off with every office water point is a good source of putting Oxytap. Okay, everywhere where there's an office watering point where they're using, maybe in your case, it has a water cooler there, or even a filtration system, because you are in future you would basically buy a oxygen meter to go along with your sales, and you can take that water quality from the pantry and you can measure it to show them how low oxygen is, right? And then we bring your machine there and you oxygenate in front of them and you measure. It's a huge difference of oxygen. So a lot of times our sale, it's done because we are able to show them the amount of oxygen, what they're drinking, and what we can produce for them. And that's normally the game. We close a lot of deals with that. Yeah. And also,
I
like what the Noor showed earlier, the oximeter, you can also measure it instantaneously. It's very powerful because today we have a technology which is not it's not fake, it's the real stuff, it's the real deal, right? Where you drink it, oxygen increases in your blood. You can measure it like what Noor is doing, right? You can see it, that oxygen is increasing. And when you get COVID, oxygen decreases, but when you drink this, it goes up. There's no supplement in the world today that when you get COVID, you can take and it increases your oxygen. When you get COVID, oxygen keeps on depleting till a very dangerous low level, right? So we are the only one today, if you have COVID, start drinking oxygen water and you can see it going up and it prevents the other side effects of low oxygen.
That's a brilliant answer. Moving on, we have Surya. Surya, I'm gonna ask you to unmute.
Hello, can you
Hi.
hear me?
Yes, yes.
Dr. Wilson, Mr. Wilson,
Yes,
Tan,
hi.
thank you for the lecture. I'm Dr. Surya from Surabaya. I like to ask, because in blood, oxygen is dissolved and carried by hemoglobin. If your hemoglobin is also low, it doesn't bring too much effect because the dissolved oxygen is so small. So what I ask you is, you need good hemoglobin. Number two, I think one shot only is not enough because it will increase your water, normal water, drinking water from maybe 10 to 15 or something. Maybe with 3 shots, it goes to 30. Then the dissolved water will be higher. What is your comment? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Surya. The thing is, we have customers who, for example, customers who are going through dialysis. Dialysis, they can't drink a lot of water. You know, throughout the day, they are given a certain number of water volume. Our normal human adults, we drink minimum 2 liters. But for a dialysis patient, the doctor gives them 500 ml only per day. The difference is we can concentrate that 500 ml with high dosages of oxygen, that when they drink it, it actually increases blood oxygenation in their body. So we are able to concentrate very high oxygen into dosage. So depending on whether you drink 2 liters or 500 ml, we can concentrate different concentration by pumping more times, that when you drink it, it has the oxygen stays long in your body, and it basically aids in the circulation of the blood in your body. With regards to your hemoglobin question, I have no I can't answer that because I do not know too much about that in that space. But all we know is, as long as you're drinking it and you measure your oximeter, there is an increase in blood oxygenation in the meter. So whatever mechanism we are, without doing clinical trials in that space, we cannot say for certain, but we have a result by using a tester. Drinking, go through your body system, we see the results in the tester. How the science to go about biologically, the mechanism, we rely on partners like yourself. Okay, first and foremost, let me explain. My expertise is in technology, in engineering. I'm not a medical doctor, right? So because I'm not a medical doctor, we create tools. It's like, for me, I create a hammer. How you use a hammer in your vocation, share it. So we should share with one another how you use Oxytap in the future. And then if your training is in the medical biological area, test it with your patients and then come back to us and tell us how this is being effective, how is it being absorbed. you know, and it's going to benefit everyone. So I thank you for your question, but all I know is that when we drink oxygen, it can show up in your Apple Watch, we can show up in an oximeter. The biological effect of how that does, we rely on people like yourself to share about it.
Okay, just a quick one, Mugi. I just want to introduce, I have the Oxytap right here at home. So it's simply just put it on the table, and I have a carafe here, water, and I just press it on. And this is how it works actually. So one press, it's just 3 minutes, and you can see the bubbles start collecting here. And if you were to measure it, it's really very pure, very fresh. So how I do it, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing is that I will terahertz my water. Yes, since I have the iTeracare, I will terahertz it first, and then I start doing the Oxytap. So it all depends. For this, it's just enough for 1.5 liter. Just one press, one shot of it, right? So what I did, normally I will press for 3 shots. So 3 pumps, and I want to have the maximum effect of it. So just so you know, this is how it looks like. It's so small and it's mobile. You can just unplug it. There's no need to fix to any water faucet. So it complements any water. For those who have Kangen machine, do not throw it away. Or if you have any expensive water filter, do not throw it away. So we complement with all the rest, the one and only and the first in the world. So I hope that helps give you an insight of it. Back to you, Mugi.
Thank you, thank you. That actually helps a lot. And before we move on to our next question from Angie E from Illinois, I just want to give a heads up that in case my laptop battery dies in the next 5 to 10 minutes, I gotta go and run and grab my cable. So during that time, Mr. Nurashid, please hop in and take over for me. But before that, let's go to our question from Angie E.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for this nice presentation. My question is, we also had the 7 Wonders water. So how can you differentiate this Oxytap water from the 7 Wonders water?
All right. Maybe I can answer that question, because what I did was I used to carry my 7 Wonders everywhere I go. So after doing the test of the oxygen level, ppm inside the 7 Wonders, so what I realized that it has mineral stone at the base of it. So what happens? It starts to absorb all the oxygen. So even after right away you oxygenated your water, the oxygen level is very high. But after you put it in the 7 Wonders, in just about 5 minutes, and I measure the oxygen level, it dropped because it's been absorbed by the mineral stone from the 7 Wonders. So my advice to you is, do not use the 7 Wonders when you are at home, right? So you just put it in any simple water bottle, right? And that will store. In a bottle, it lasts for the next 24 hours, but if you place it in the refrigerator, it can last for a week. So that's the good news. So what I did is I just put it in any water bottle. The best is still neutral glass. If you're going to use plastic, try to get Triton. It's even better than BPA, because BPA bottles, it will leach the gas to your water. But Triton, Tritan, it is the best. So that is what I normally store it. So what happens to the 7 Wonders? If you go on flight, you can't carry and you can't plug in your machine, right? So that comes in handy when you are far away from your machine. So the best at home, do not put it in 7 Wonders, put it in any normal glass bottle or Triton bottle. That would be good for you. So I hope that answers it. All right, thank you. Back to you, Mugi.
Fantastic, great answer to that question. Moving on to Izzy Liza from Colorado.
Well, thank you, and great presentation. That might have answered part of my question. I don't have a 7 Wonders water bottle, but I had thought the 7 Wonders water bottle was a hydrogen bottle, because I've only had my Terahertz for a couple of months. I did just receive a different brand of hydrogen water bottle. So now I mean, like today. And now I'm like, well, when would I use hydrogen water and when would I use the oxygen water? Because they both seem to have similar benefits.
Okay, so basically we breathe oxygen. So oxygen is the key element. And high oxygen in water denotes its freshness of the water. So you think about it, oxygen, it's very natural in everything we do. Hydrogen, it's not that natural. However, there's been a lot of research in Japan on the benefits of hydrogen. So what I'm saying is oxygen, you treat it like a supplement. Hydrogen water is more like an antibiotic. So if you have these two analogy, because the thing about hydrogen, what the theory is that it would seek out free radicals and convert it into water, right? And to prevent cancer and all those stuff. But if you think about it, or how you position hydrogen, like I said, it's like an antibiotic. You don't drink that every day, or you don't take antibiotics every day. But oxygen water or oxygen supplement is like a natural supplement. You need oxygen every day because, like I showed you, cells don't absorb enough or cannot. As we grow older, the cells are not able to absorb enough. So that's why you need to position yourself. Oxygen is the most key element. And if you believe in hydrogen, use that like an antibiotic to whatever you desire hydrogen's benefits are, and you subscribe to that, then you use that as per an antibiotic. But for us, the regular drinking every day should be with high oxygen.
Okay, that's great. That's actually very clear. Moving on to our next question from Miss Desiree. Go ahead. I hope I'm pronouncing your name
Yes,
right.
you are. You did perfect. Very good. Thank you. Thank you so much for this amazing presentation. I'm very excited to not only experience it personally, but to be able to share it with my own clients and potential clients. My question to Mr. Wilson, you mentioned, you commented about the oxygen bars that are popping up, especially in Las Vegas. Now, that I am very familiar with. I have personally been to an oxygen bar, so I know firsthand the benefits and the effects that a person receives once they have a session with the oxygen at the oxygen bar. My question is, how would drinking the Oxytap water compare in terms of the results that one would get at a visit to an oxygen bar? Does that make sense?
Yeah, understand. Very clear. So basically in oxygen bars, sometimes they infuse different flavors. So you get strawberries or something like that.
Right.
But ours, it's very natural. You drink it, it enters your bloodstream. And in fact, oxygen is absorbed 10 times faster by drinking than breathing.
Right.
Interesting. And the other thing is, when you have COVID, your lung is already infected, which means it's already been injured and scarred. So your absorption rate by breathing would have dropped as per prior to COVID. So even you go to an oxygen bar now, when you breathe that oxygen, the absorption rate is not as good as drinking. So the efficacy for drinking oxygen is much better and higher. But again, if you're selling to an oxygen bar, we can always position it as it's a very good complementary solution to the oxygen bar. Now you have a water, we give you the best of both worlds, both breathing and drinking. But like I said, breathing, it's not, the absorption of oxygen is not as fast as drinking. So it depends on how you position the product.
Thank you, Wilson. And just so everyone knows, like I'm not giving space for follow-up questions so we can get through everybody. But if you have a follow-up question, you can raise your hand again and we'll get to you. So moving on to our question from Kevin Tinker from New Zealand. Go ahead with your question.
Your Moogie's statement of follow-up questions, that's having my hand wrapped because I always do that. Yep, I had several questions. Great presentation, really exciting. Several questions. Dr. Suya answered my hemoglobin question. There's several people have talked about the structure of water. My one thing is, you mentioned when you were talking about Kangen water that the Oxytap does not alter the structure. And I think you were sort of looking at alkali type things. Do you recommend that, and Nora should also mention it, do you recommend that we should use the wand to wand the terahertz water to change it from polymeric to linear structure before we put it in the Oxytap?
Rashid, you're mute,
I
Rashid.
think you're muted.
Personally, I would recommend it because since we already have the iTeracare, you want to warm the water, you want to energize it, and then you put it into the Oxytap. So you have best of the both worlds. And indeed, what is great is that it just the last piece of the jigsaw puzzle, because we do understand the iTeracare, it resonates our cell, and our cells are all energy, right? So it needs to be charged. Then it has the resonation of a million vibrations per second. But as you put it in a layman terms, right? In order for the cell to be recharged, a battery to be recharged, just like a car battery, it needs the water in the battery water. So you cannot recharge the battery if the battery is dry. So indeed, this is where our cells inside that liquid, the water that we need is the oxygen, water, high density. So when you do that, wow, it's no longer, like you say again, it's not just anti-aging. The iTeracare make us to have a reverse aging. So the combination of iTeracare and the Oxytap, each and every one of us is going to be ageless. So that is just splendid, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope that clears it up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that answer.
Thank you. Thank you. And we have only space to take 3 further questions. So there are more than 3 people who have raised their hands, so I have to be a little bit selective here. I would like to give space for Jean to ask a question, Dr. Haji to ask his question, and for Jen Azarkon from Davao, Philippines. So we'll start from Jen Azarkon from Davao, move on to Dr. Haji, and then we'll have Jean asking the final question before we move on into the next part of this presentation. So Jen Azarkon, go ahead from Davao.
Hello, everyone. This is Jen from Davao, Philippines. Thank you, Dr. Wilson Tan, for your presentation. I've learned a lot. I'd just like to ask, because I am a Kangen user myself also, how long can we use the Oxytap if we will be going into bottling this one?
Okay, so basically our system is not a commercial system, right? So bottling, when it comes to bottling, is a commercial system. So as long as we are servicing it regularly, it's fine. So you need to, because there's like there's a service life, because the more you use it, right, you need to service it because it's like a car. So if you're bottling it, you probably need to factor that cost in, right? So I do not know when you say bottling is how many bottles per day, but it's not meant for a commercial bottling facility in that sense. Yeah.
Thank you. And from my understanding of what you said, this is a device meant for home use, right? It's portable,
Yeah.
you can bring it everywhere. It's not meant for like bottling purposes. I understand. Dr. Haji, your question, sir.
Okay, thanks, Mugilan, for allowing me to ask this other comment again. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Wilson Tan for coming up with the product, and also for to Brother Noor Rashid for bringing this to our Prime International. And then I would like to thank Dr. Stephen Lai, Dr. Jimmy Tan, and then Mr. Casey and Mr. Go for bringing this to the world. You know, it is a great job done by them. They deserve a big round of applause. So we all show them a big round of applause in the screen. This is what I wanted to say. Thanks, Mugilan, for the opportunity. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank you. In that case, we're having our final question from Jean. Make it count.
Oh, thank you so very much. I can only imagine that this would help somebody that was born with small red blood cells. Is there any thing I need to know about that, or any concerns of someone using this that has permanently smaller red blood cells?
Anything related to blood, right? Oxygen is critical, right? So even if it's small blood cells, the absorption of, so you'll be anemic, you'll be breathless, be very low energy. So oxygen will counteract situation like that. Anything related to blood condition. I have a customer. He was only 8 years old when he started. He has a rare form of leukemia, a blood cancer condition. He wakes up every day with a very bad migraine. He takes 30 pills a day. Every day he has to go for a jab, right? It's a young boy. And he came to us and I said, try this water. Well, after he drank the water, the next day when he woke up, he did not have a headache where he's been having it for years, right? Now it's 2 years, his blood cancer is in remission. There's no need for medication. So blood condition, oxygen is very critical. The other thing I didn't add was actually our brain, when it's restless, is because there's no oxygen or lack of oxygen. So we have customers with kids who are ADHD also, who gives their children oxygen supplement, and it calms them down. So ADHD is a really huge issue in this world today, and many a times it's linked back to lack of oxygen either during childbirth or you know, during the delivery of the baby, and that's what causes low oxygen in their brain, and then when they grow up, it actually comes out in different ADHD. You know what's ADHD, right? Attention deficiency system. You can't focus and all that. When you drink oxygen water, you're able to focus. So we are giving the world a very good solution, you know, in every aspect. Yeah.
Thank you, Wilson. I hope that clarifies it. And if you have more questions, I just want to share that we will have another session, this time with a Zoom limit of 500 people at 8 p.m. Malaysia time, which is 8 hours and 32 minutes from now. So look at the time now. Think half an hour, get it to the top of the hour, and 8 hours after that, we're going to have the next session. The Zoom link will be sent out soon. But now moving on to a segment all of us are waiting for, I would like to hand the floor over to...
Okay, Mugi, since Mugi is out. So ladies and gentlemen, do not forget, put the oxy water, right, into a spray bottle. And again, when you use it to spray your face, it's kind of doing a firming on your skin, and it hydrates very well. So as we are saying, we are saving the best for the last, is the special price for this launching. And indeed, I already have 50 orders for this. We have not even launched, but I just shared with them on the water, and they are so excited. So with that, do I have everybody still here? With that, I would like to invite our Group General Manager, Mr. Victor, to share with you this special promotion that we're going to launch the Oxytap. Victor,
All
are you
right.
there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you,
Okay.
Rashid. Thank you so much for the introduction. Now, this is indeed a very, very exciting moment as we do a pre-launch of the Oxytap. And there is so many opportunities that can arise from this Oxytap, right? I can already imagining, okay, having this Oxytap in 50,000 PWGs around the world, where customers can come in every day to get themselves a cup of oxygenated water to drink before they leave and everything, and get the treatment done in the PWGs. All right. Now, so for the pre-launch, we are doing a special deal for everyone. All right. Okay. Now, so these are the details. Now, so for the pre-launch price per unit, it's only $2,000 US, and this is inclusive of shipping charges. Okay, $2,000, and only limited units available. Only 150 units are available. Rashid has already taken 50, so that means you're left with only 100. Right now, this product will ship from Singapore. Okay, and we will deduct from your bonus wallet or your registered wallet. Now, if you're interested to place an order right now, get in touch with Oxytap at priveintl.com. Okay. Now, so in your email, this information, please include this information: your name, your username, your full address, and please also include the postal code, right? And also indicate to deduct from the bonus wallet or the register wallet, yeah, and send the email to oxytap at priveintl.com. All right. Now, as for the official launching and official price, we will be announcing it once we are ready to do an official launching of this amazing device. All right. Okay. So if you have any question, you can also send to oxytap at priveintl.com, right? And we will get Wilson or Rashid to reply to this as well. All right. Okay. So Rashid, back to you, Rashid. Any last words from you before we close the meeting?
So imagine, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be the game changer. We're gonna change everything because we complement all water dispenser, water filter, because we don't compete with them. So we can get all the Kangen leaders coming over, and we have so many of our members who has been inactive. They're gonna come back to be more active. And this is the opportunity after this launch, right? Prive International going to announce the selling price where you can make your advance booking. Because what I expected is that the order is going to overcome the stocks. So we do not want your members that has to wait for the production line. This is the very first time, the world first oxygen nutrition, the one and only with Prive International. So if there's no other question, nice to have you back. Nice to see you back. And we're looking forward to see you in Bangkok in January. So don't forget, invite a lot of your friends for this evening at 8 p.m. Malaysia, Singapore time. Check on the world time itself, and we'll see you there later tonight. So
yeah, spread the word around to your friends in the Europe, right? I think 8 p.m. Malaysia time is going to be around 1 p.m. Central European time. People who are in India can log in, from Africa can log in, from Europe can log in. In fact, those early birds in the US, if you wake up early, you can log in as well, right? So, and we will have a room capacity to fit 500 people. So we'll see you tonight. Thank you. Okay, once again, thank you, Wilson. Thank you.
Thank you, Wilson. Thank you,
Thank you.
Mudi. Thank you,
Thank
Victor.
you all. See you.
And thank you all. Love
Thank
you.
you. Thank you all. Thank you,
More
everyone.
earnings.